Hello, welcome to the next piano lesson with Richard Yang. Today it is going to be Kingdom Hearts Night of Fate. So to follow this piano lesson video, you will need to download the sheet music from somewhere if you already have it. If not, Google is your friend. Okay, it's the Kingdom Hearts Field and Battle album. And as always, if you like this video, now or later, please click that subscribe button and the little bell button so you will know when I come up with the next one. I release quite a lot of stuff, as you can see from my channel. So stay tuned. Okay. So this piece is it sounds like a battle piece to me. It's very exciting, but for your information, I have never played Kingdom Hearts before. And for that matter, I've never played a single Final Fantasy game, by the way, if you guys don't know. That's so when I record the music, it's really often my own interpretation instead of what the music should sound like from the game. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's fun anyway. Anyway, in the beginning, we have the it starts off big with all the accent notes. First word of caution: when you practice this too much, you will annoy yourself. So when I was learning this, especially when I started recording this, obviously whenever I play a wrong note, I would go back to the beginning, start again, and so I keep playing this. Very soon I got so annoyed by myself playing this thing over and over again. It sounds really mean. It's supposed to sound mean, but when you play it very often, that sounds extra mean. Anyway, the notes shouldn't be a problem here, so I'm going to focus on the pedaling. All right. So pedaling in this piece, when you have good pedaling on any piece, it's going to make it sound a lot more powerful. Okay. You don't want to, for example, you don't want to pedal everything down. Right? That's just wrong. But if you don't have any pedal, it's not as bad. However, if you add just a little bit of pedal to it, you can bring a lot more power, but never too much. So if you look at my video in the description below, if you focus on how I pedal this, the beginning section it will look pretty complicated, but I hope it's not. So the idea is whenever you have this, I pedal down for both notes and no pedal in between. The next two notes, you want to change the pedal every quarter note. Change. Up. Down. But change the note. Change the pedal here. And change again. Up. No pedal there. And now here, change every quarter note. Change again. No pedal. Pedal. Change. No pedal. Pedal. Change. So I hope that it's a very complicated to explain this because most of the time my pedaling is it's separate from my fingers. I don't even think about pedaling, just what happens. So when I try to explain how I played this, especially on my feet, on my fingers I can explain, but on my feet it's really difficult. So I hope you understood that. But anyway, I'm going to play slowly so that hopefully you can pick up from the sound of it where I pedal or not. Of course, every note has an accent and a staccato, so you want to make sure you bring that out. Right? So no note is too long. Now the next one, so going into section A, if you look at the music, your first instinct is to play like this. But I don't, that's too much thinking for me. So I use the left hand for the F sharp. So I can land the note nicely on 1 and 5 when I'm done. Okay. Also, in fact, the left hand, you'll do this. So left hand, you can see you have the melody here. As well, you have a E. That's always there. So how do you play this? Right? I just keep my thumb on the E and I move my way around that with my second finger. And you'll notice that a lot of times I will play the same note with both fingers. There is no scientific reason why that's better, but for me, it is better for control. So what I mean is, that I know for sure I'm playing it, and I feel more control in my hand when I have both finger on it. And a lot of times when you want to play to emphasize on a certain note, you put two fingers on it, just so that you can better control it, the up and down or the volume wise. So, you can try that out. I'll play that slowly first. That's section A, very simple. However, just note the timing. So in the last line, first measure. First of all, I'll play the measure before. Remember, there is only an eighth rest here, not a full rest, only an eighth. So rest. Right? So you want to make sure that you don't wait for too long. It happens almost right after the rest, right? So that, right? So just make sure you don't wait for too long before you start this. Now, here's the climax. And don't play both notes at the same time. It's not like this. I'll play you the wrong example first. No, don't do that, okay? You want to listen to a bit of Scriabin, like you will understand that idea. You don't want to play the, especially on the big climax like this, you want to have a little separation between the two, your left and right hands to make it sound more powerful. For example. See, I played this. That makes it just instantly sounds more powerful. Alright, so that's how you play that. Section B, staccato all the way. Change hand here. So far, so good. Next, you will probably be amazed how difficult this is. Right? So instead of that, please don't do that. Magic. Watch. That's so magical. You have your left hand for this, and that gives you a lot of time for your right hand to move to this, right? So now it continues. Watch this. I used finger number 4. Right? So do that. section D, count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Counting. That's it. So the rest, a lot of, when I played this, a lot of times my first instinct was to, just let's feel the music. If you just feel the music for the rest, it may work. But if you can count properly, make sure that there are 5 beats in a measure. Then when everything falls into the right rhythm, it just sounds a lot more powerful. Section D, same thing, counting. 1, 2. Actually, I don't know how I'm gonna count out. I'm really bad at counting out loud while playing. I cannot multitask that way. So I'll try my best. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that doesn't work. So follow the metronome, please. I hope you could see the counting that I did on my hand. So that's literally that's how I count sometimes, just with my hand. Just not good when I have to say it out loud. Okay, section E. So section E, the first problem you have is that on the left hand you're supposed to hold the C sharp, but the right hand it cuts right into it, right? So you just need to. So I just reserve my left hand for the lower C sharp. Like that. Okay, now you can move to the right hand. So very quick on the fingering, the left hand for me is always the same. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. So you keep repeating that, and there is no particular. There are actually a few other ways you can do the fingering, and I've tried them all. I use this one just because I want to keep it consistent throughout. Because whenever you want to use different fingering for different sections, you can get confused. I never want to be confused. So I keep everything consistent. So I keep using the 1, 2, 1 on the right hand, right? Okay, so I'm gonna play that slowly here. Nowhere to jump. So the section G, I can imagine for you guys wanting to learn this piece, this little section should be the most difficult part of this piece because you have different phrasing on the right hand and the left hand, right? Different place for staccato, different places for slur, right? So I'm going to do the right hand first. The left hand is different. Extremely difficult to. That's a very difficult concept to grasp. Playing, phrasing differently on the two hands. So I'm going to show you slowly. So there is no easy way to explain this except to play it so slowly. Like when you practice, you probably want to play even slower than that. This is the speed that I practiced at. So you can play it so slow. Until you can build up the speed. Alright, so that's how you play that. Now, of course, you want to know your chromatic scale. There's no trick there, right? You just need to know. Then play that slowly. Oh, sorry. So far, so good. Section G. Section G, even though everything is marked as staccato on the original recording, they do have a lot of half pedal in here just to make things sound a little, a little richer instead of getting pretty dry. So if I play without pedal, it sounds like this. That sounds a little dry, but even if you can play like that perfectly, that's not too bad. But add a little pedal, not too much. I'm gonna give you another wrong example. Pedal too much becomes like this. Even if I change the pedal. Right now, I don't like that either. So half pedal. So how do you do half pedal? You press your pedal down until some notes start to hold. So if you right now nothing, press down a little bit, still nothing. Okay. Right now things are holding a little bit, so you know where that half point is. So that's where you want your half pedal to be. So when you have the half pedal applied and play this, well, you still need to change the pedal. It sounds like this. You heard that, right? It's things are a little slightly not as dry, but you can still bring out the staccato. That's the beauty of it. Now next, section I. I'm gonna play that slowly. about the scale. The scale, you know, I start with the finger number 4 on the F sharp, right? 4, 3, 3. Next one, 4, 3, 4. Or 3 might do. Would it? Yeah, sorry, 4, 3, 3. 4, 3, 3. Right, so that's the only thing you need to practice, and practice with both hands together so that you can get that the first time. Almost, I never really pedal all the way down. It's mostly half pedal because a lot of these are staccato. You don't want them too dry or too wet. Not too wet. I don't know. Is that how you put that? Muddy, wet, sure. Right. So that takes us all the way to section J, which is exactly the same as the beginning. So I'm gonna instead of skipping that, I'm gonna play through it. Starts to get a little bit different. So on the very last note, very last measure before section L, change the pedal on the last note. That's all you get. Now section L, it sounds so cool, but it's not really difficult. It sounds very difficult on the recording, but it's actually not. You just need to know how to count. I'm gonna play that very, very slowly first. See? I've never played this piece this slowly, so it's very unnatural for me, but I'm gonna try again. Okay. Hard section, but you know, you just need to know how to count where the rests are, and I'm gonna play that one more time, just so you can hear what it should sound like. Right, it sounds pretty fast. Section M, it just a lot. I don't know if you find this to be difficult or not. Right? The trick is to make sure your hand opens up to a fixed width. Like, keep that position. Move down. My hand will look very stiff right now, just for demonstration, saying that I keep my hand position looking exactly the same. Right? Left hand as well, right? Just keep the, don't go, ooh, hey, wider, narrow, no. You get the note right and keep that fixed. So wherever you go, it's the same width, right? And then until it changes, of course. So with this in mind, the way that I do it is I aim at the top note on the left hand, and right hand similar, right? So because I keep the width of my hand the same, I only need to focus either on the upper note or the lower note for that matter. But I keep the upper note because that's closer to the right hand, so I can look at both hands together. So if I look at the upper note, I have my hand position open to the exact same size, I only need to aim at the one note and the bottom note will just fall into place. Well, like magic, right? So obviously this, this is not too difficult. You just play a little more, you'll do great. Final section. So the first part should be okay. Now from this point on, I'm on the last line, second measure. All you need to know is that after 3 notes, you will do a chromatic scale down. What I mean is 1, 2, 3. So after the E, there's no more guessing. You just keep going chromatic down. So you only need to look at the first 3 notes, whole notes, and then semitones all the way down. So right hand, right? Same thing 4 times, easy. Last one. So I do 5, 2, 1. Actually, you can either do 3. Actually, I do 5, 1, 5, 2, 1. You can either do a 3, 1 or a 2, 1. Both will work. Alright, that's how you take it to the end. Not too bad, I hope. So I hope you enjoyed this one. This is probably a shorter video. It's not there's not too much to this piece. So that's it. Thank you. Goodbye.